In this video, if you are a newcomer to crypto, you're kind of skeptical, you're really not sure, and you think it's all a bunch of internet BS, please pay attention, share it with a friend, and by the way, like and subscribe to the channel because I'll be posting much more content on crypto because it is the future of the world. Now, we're going to start it off with, in no particular order by the way, every reason I'm giving you to buy and invest in crypto is reasons for you to really start thinking like, hey, it actually makes sense now. And I'll give maybe some analogies and such for you to understand why it is the best investment bet currently and will be in the future. But luckily, you have information and education in front of you to make purchases now to be set for the future. Don't get in late like many of us did with the whole Bitcoin thing, because me personally, I thought Bitcoin was a bunch of bullshit also. 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was. And now I'm like, oh man, imagine if I just would have invested 20 bucks, 50 bucks, 100 bucks, whatever it is. So let's get this video started off. Number one, and by the way, remember, in no particular order. Number one is you own it and you control it. Let's just say that you get $5,000 from your job or a job that you did or wherever you have money, maybe your paycheck, and you give it to the bank. The reality is your money's already gone. Once it hits that account, it's gone. They're loaning it to other people, making 5, 10, 15, 20%, maybe even interest on loans that they're giving out. So technically, yes, your money is there, but you'll start realizing very quick with people that I know, the larger amount of money that you own in the bank, the much harder it is for you to actually get it out. Stop and really think about that. And another thing with crypto is, we'll probably get into more later on, but once you own crypto, nobody can take it away from you. There have been reports, and you can look this up, reports where people are being investigated, people have died, and of course their family knows how to get to it. But once you have crypto, especially on a cold wallet, which we'll get into later, nobody can take that away from you. If you have something in the bank, they can. Now, certain exchanges might be a little different, and we'll get into that in a bit. But for the most part, you own your crypto and nobody can take it from you. Crypto is the future of the world. Stop and think about this, and if you don't agree, just say, this guy's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Many years ago, the world as a whole worked on a barter system. Maybe it was, hey, I'll trade you 3 chickens for your goat, or I'll trade you 2 pounds of rice for your chickens, or whatever it was, right? And then we started getting into more like commodities, saying, okay, well, you want this, or you're gonna do X amount of work for me. I'm gonna pay you in a bag of wheat, in a bag of rice, in a bag of flour, and so on, right? Then we progressed to metals, and you're really stopping and saying, well, what kind of metals? Well, gold and silver. This costs X amount of gold. This costs X amount of silver. Or you got paid with gold and silver also. And then, of course, we got into paper money. Now, of course, the United States here, we use the dollar bill. Mexico, they have the peso. In different regions, different countries, they accept different currency. Key word, currency. So everywhere's pretty much different, and you have to convert your money, and then you go to an exchange house, and then, they get a little cut off the top, and then you're really getting less than what you gave, and that's just a reality. That's how it works. Well, anyways, from the paper money, we got into the plastic money. And what I mean by plastic money, it's, now the credit card, the Visa card, the debit card, all of this came out. And simultaneously, while all this is going on, we also got into the digital money already. Stop and really think about this. Let's say you work at, Home Depot, right? Or you work for the state of Texas, a government job, whatever it is. Most employers nowadays are requiring you to have direct deposit anyways. They barely even give out paper checks. And who's basically paying cash anymore? Maybe some outside side jobs, mowing yards, whatever it could be. People are rarely dealing with cash nowadays. They still do, don't get me wrong, but those days are very minimal compared to what they were 20 years ago. So as of right now and for the past God knows how many years, your paycheck or how you pay at the grocery store or whatever it is has already been digitized. You've never even seen the money because it's digitally somewhere in some account, and all you know is you look at your account, right? Well, that's what crypto is currently as well. Whether you use crypto.com, Webull, eToro, Robinhood, regardless of the account or the exchange that you're actually looking at your account in, that's the same thing that you're dealing with. You see exactly how much you have, whether you're staking, which is another thing that's really cool to collect interest on, where you're basically lending them your coins and they're paying you back interest, which is, by the way, much greater than what the bank is doing, which is roughly about like 0.000 what percent? Exactly. Go ask the bank what your interest rate is on money you're lending them. You look at some staking, which is an option for more long term. They're giving 3 to 5 to 8. I'm staking some Polygon right now at 8%. That's really not bad when you consider the average real estate ROI per year. You're looking at 7 to 12%. So staking is a good option. Just FYI, something to look into. But either way, as you can tell, it's the future of the world. When you have El Salvador opening up the doors for Bitcoin, when you have grocery stores now putting Bitcoin ATMs in, major corporations, and we'll get into that also here in a bit, but as you can tell, the world is finally adopting and accepting cryptocurrency because they know we got to get on board now and let the people know it's legit before we're too late as corporations and so on. So it's the future of the world. It is safe from inflation due to supply. It is safe from inflation due to supply. I'll give you a good example. Typically, when things are going haywire, what does the government say? Print more money, give them more money, throw more money into the system. Well, what happens when more money gets thrown into a system? Good example. Let's just say in the job market, we'll say, okay, let's say you live in El Paso, Texas, and the money in the system is $10 an hour, for, let's just say minimum wage. We'll just pretend it's 10. I know it's less, but we'll just say $10 an hour minimum wage. But let's say the government raises the minimum wage, right? So when they raise the minimum wage and now more money has to be put into the system and paid out, people say, wait a second, if I'm a landlord charging $700, which is market value for a one-bedroom apartment in El Paso, now employees are making a minimum of $15. Oh, heck no. So now I know that they can afford $1,000 a month rent, right? That's pretty much how inflation works. Obviously, different industries, different areas, you see it different ways, but that alone is just within the job market. And it's happened over and over. Stop and think 10 years ago, how much a mortgage or a one-bedroom, two-bedroom apartment was. Think about 20 years back. And that's how inflation works. Now with cryptocurrency, you start saying, wait a second, if there's only 21 million of these, 1 billion of these, 30 million of these, whatever it is, there can never be more pumped into the system. That way you're safe from inflation. Now we could do a whole video just on inflation, but these are many points on why cryptocurrency is good for you, good for as an investment, and obviously the future. So right now, and I want you to do your own little research as well as to how cryptocurrency is safe from inflation, but that's the next reason why you need to start investing now in crypto. Research and tutorials are available. The beautiful thing about the digital revolution and all these computer nerds, whether they're in India, Israel, San Francisco, Silicon Valley, wherever they're at, it does not matter. This thing called YouTube came out and all these other TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. So what's happening is you have plenty of people that have knowledge that can educate people. And the beautiful thing about it, it's free. And the reason why people give free information is because, number one, it can lead to whether money coming in for them, whether they're looking for clients and so on, or they want the views, they want the likes, they just want to educate. Whatever it is, it does not matter. The fact is that you have tools, tutorials, research that people have done. If someone says Polygon is a good buy, then you can say, okay, well, why is Polygon a good buy? You could go to YouTube and there could be 300 videos on people saying, giving their opinions and so on. You can look at data, you can look at charts, you can look at so many things as before with, I think they call them institutional investors. Or, you just look at the newspaper and all you would see is numbers. Remember when you used to open up the newspaper back in the day, they showed the stocks? Well, that was back in the day. Now there's more thorough investigation and research and open source information as to why they're good buys or bad buys, or something can hit the news and oh man, that just hit the news, so something dipped and then it comes back up and so on. And then you get into learning about buying at the dip, selling at the tip, whatever it could be. So yes, research and tutorials are now available all over the place, all over the internet, and it can really help guide you as to know why you should be investing in crypto and the ones to actually invest in as well. Investing starts at under $5. Investing starts at under $5 and is literally right at your fingertips. Now, back in the day, you remember if you wanted to invest money, you had to have a stockbroker, you had to have a middleman or a woman, whoever it could be, whatever they identify as, doesn't matter. But the reality is you had to have a minimum going in, you had to have a certified official and so on. But just like with so many industries, that alone has died off also. You have Robinhood, Webull, Binance, eToro, Crypto.com, Kraken. You have so many exchanges that are literally in the palm of your hand. And you can jump in at midnight. You can jump in at 5 in the morning. You can jump in at 3 p.m. It doesn't matter. You don't have to put in $500 to $1,000 or $5,000 to start. If you're just a regular employee and you can only afford $25 a week, on Friday, whenever you get paid, you can jump in and put $25 worth of XYZ, whatever it is, and you can get on board. So accessibility is much greater now than before. And there's plenty of options available. So a lot of them give incentives. And another thing that I talked about earlier was staking. If you get a coin that you say, this is going to be my long-term play, look into staking, because many of these crypto exchanges will let you stake, which is basically get your coin and you put in 500 of this or 1,000 of this or whatever it is, and they pay you back interest on that coin. And we're talking 5, 6, 7, 8. The highest I've seen so far personally was 12%. What bank, financial institution is going to pay you back 12% on anything? None of them. Which one is going to pay you back 5 or 4 or 6 or 8? None of them. Definitely look into this. Investing starts at under $5 and you can get it any time of the day, night, holiday, does not matter. You have the power to get what you want when you want it. Crypto is a very strong alternative to saving money. Me personally, I save very little money. Very little money I save, because when I see not just the returns on crypto, but the future of crypto, I've told myself, wait a second, why am I going to give a bank $1,000, $5,000, $500, whatever it could be per month, when all they're going to give me back is a 0.000 something return? Once you start learning crypto, that same $500, once you've obviously educated yourself on it, it's really not, it is complicated, but it's not complicated once you start understanding the fundamentals of it. If you were to put in 500 and buy something at the dip because Elon Musk said something or China said something and then it comes back up, some of these go back up by 25 to 50%, like we saw in May. Some of them were almost 75% off, as I call it. So imagine your returns on that alone. You'll do way much more than what the bank is giving you. And on top of that, it's also safe to say that you have your major players that you see the future, you see the charts, you see the graphs, and you're like, hey, this is going to be the #1 coin of the world. Bitcoin, good example. Remember when you laughed at Bitcoin when it was $5? Remember when you laughed when it was 100? Remember when you said it was too late when it was 1,000? Then it got to 15, then it got to 30, and then you said, I can't afford it. And then you got into we got into 60 and it went down, but it's going to go back up to some crazy numbers. And another thing that I really love to tell people about crypto in particular, even if you want to invest in Bitcoin, right? I think we're currently like about 35,000 per unit. You're like, I can't afford it. It's too expensive. Well, the beautiful thing about Bitcoin is you don't have to buy one full Bitcoin. You can get 8% of a Bitcoin, 3% of a Bitcoin. And with your ledger, with everything that says what you own, your account right there, it shows you exactly how much of a Bitcoin you own. So even if you only have $100 a week to put into Bitcoin, it's there. Investing in something like that is much safer, stronger returns, and better for your long term than traditional banking savings account. So another good reason why you have to use it to kind of use as a savings account, it is really also an investment account. Corporations are now accepting it, and we're talking Microsoft, Etsy, Whole Foods, so many other corporations, and more are going to continue and continue and continue. Corporations are now accepting it. Now remember, it typically starts with one that's the trailblazer in that space, and they want to accept it and show the world that they're adopting it. And then another one, and then other people are going to start saying, hey, when I go to my local grocery store, whether depending on where you live, I go to Randall's, I go to Walmart, I go to HEB, I go to Publix, I go to Vons, I go to John's, I go wherever. Why aren't y'all accepting it when the other ones are? You know, I have a video right now on YouTube that says, and you can go look it up also, HEB, which is a huge grocery store in Texas, I think like 300, 400 locations almost, they are putting crypto ATM machines in some of their stores, and then obviously they're going to roll them out to more. Now, let me ask you a question. If they're putting crypto ATMs into the store, how long do you think until they start accepting crypto? And as the world continues to go to a more purchase online, especially with groceries, when you're no longer even going in because you're doing the curbside thing. Remember, you're ordering from your home. I think we're honestly maybe 2 to 3 years away from grocery stores or online retailers at scale accepting crypto, because all it is an option. Pay in Bitcoin, pay in Ethereum, pay in whatever. So if you have some of that, you're already set. So major corporations are already adopting it. Remember when, what's his name, Mark Cuban was saying the Dallas Mavericks are now going to be accepting Dogecoin, and the story broke where some girl bought a bunch of tickets with her Dogecoin. I know that was an anomaly. It's like, oh, look, it's brand new. It just started. Well, no, it's actually the entry point for what's coming. Get in, get on board, because the rest of the world is, and you do not want to stay behind. Security and cold storage. Security and cold storage. Number one, trying to hack into the blockchain is a very hard and difficult ordeal as compared to someone hacking into the, whatever pipeline that they say we're screwing up y'all system, send us X amount of money and so on, right? Well, hacking into the blockchain typically means everybody sees what's going on. There's so many different computers linked in that you can't just go in, pull something out, and act like nothing happened. There's ledgers out there, top-notch security, that very, 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 very many computers on the network know where to trace it to and know what's going on. That's why the blockchain is rarely, if find a story, has been hacked. Number two, cold storage. Imagine this. Let's say you have a computer at home, right? And you have an external hard drive, just a little hard drive, a little box, whatever. If you unplug that, your computer will never see what's on there. Nobody in the world will ever see what is on that hard drive until you plug it in, because maybe you want to do a transfer, so on. People that are hacking into whatever, they don't know that you have your cold storage. So let's just say you have 100 Bitcoins, but you also don't want it to be on the internet. You don't want to have it on any exchange because you're afraid that the exchange can get hacked, or the exchange might go down in flames, or whatever happens, right? You never know, right? The bigger the exchange, typically, obviously, somebody bails. They don't just totally shut down credible exchanges. You have people that come in and buy them if there's a financial issue, and the owners and the founders and such are done with the project or whatever, someone else will come and buy them out. Realistically is how it works. But let's just say, for whatever reason, you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be able to hold it like a safe deposit box almost, right? $50, $100, $150. You can go to Amazon, buy one of these cold wallets as they call them. Everything from an exchange you can transfer out. Now they might charge you a small fee, 10, 20, 30, 40 bucks, whatever it could be, but you're basically getting all of your crypto out. You're putting it on your cold storage. You could even take it to the bank, put it in your safe deposit box, give your wife, girlfriend, husband, boyfriend, whoever the PIN or how to get in. So if for whatever reason something happens to you, they can get that cold wallet, plug it into a computer, and they can cash out Bitcoin or whatever it is, send it to a hot wallet, let's say on an exchange, and then turn it into fiat and so on. So imagine it's like your secret savings pot of gold that you have access to do that. With a bank, you don't. It's just in the account, and then whatever happens, happens. Yes, we know FDIC, or I think it's called FDIC insured and so on. But if you want to have the control, or if you're going to another country, for example, and you don't want to carry all this cash, and you don't want to have all this money on an exchange, you can take your little hard drive looking type thing, take it with you to another country, plug it into your computer, whatever, upload a little bit of, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it could be. And then from there, you can make payments and so on. Put it into your laptop, unplug it, then you're done. If for whatever reason, anybody ever gets it, they don't know how to get into it. They don't know the code. They don't know the sequence. They don't know nothing. You can't just break it open and see all this gold in there. It doesn't work that way. So security and cold storage is definitely an option, and another reason why you need to invest in crypto. You will definitely still be an early investor. Yes, I know. If I would have bought Bitcoin 10 years ago at $2, I'd be rich right now. If I would have bought Ethereum 3 years ago, whatever it was, I'll be super rich right now. And Doge and so on and so on. But as you can tell, even if you listen to traditional news or internet news or whatever, you can see very well that so many people have made a crap load of money. And the coins and the technology and so on just continues to be pumped in, because I want you to keep in mind, crypto isn't just about cryptocurrency itself and the actual coin that you can use to make a payment for something. Crypto is also you investing in the technology of what something can do, linking systems together, networking, making it faster to actually get your transaction or have transactions made and so on. It's not just about a coin that, it's going to be the next Bitcoin. It's not just about that. It's about technology, utility, so many other things. And like I said earlier about staking, even if you accumulate a lot of something right now, when you say, hey, I want to make some interest on this, you can stake on many of these exchanges and they pay interest. Do you see what I'm saying? So don't be one of those people that are kicking yourself in the butt like 10, 11 years ago when I was like, Bitcoin is BS, bunch of internet bullshit, a bunch of internet nerds coming up with, what is this like fake money? And then looking back at it now in 2021, we're like, wait a second, all our money has been fake. Because we never actually really see our money unless we go to an ATM and we cash out, right? So it's all just digital numbers somewhere. So the same way crypto, you can go, whether like these grocery stores are doing digital or crypto ATMs, or you cash out from your exchange and you sell X amount, whatever, or you transfer it to fiat and then it goes into your bank account. It's the same thing. So trust me, be an early investor and don't miss the boat for another 10 years, because you'll be really kicking yourself in the butt, especially after watching this video. And as I just said in the last section, it's more than just coins. There's technologies that have to happen and have to be made and have to be continued for all of this crypto blockchain craziness, right? Digital craziness to happen. Well, those technologies are started or founded or ran or or made by companies that know how to do those things. It's basically a bunch of computer nerds that make it all happen. But it's okay, because computer nerds are the ones that have got us into this mess to begin with, right? So when you can invest into them as a company, but it comes up as a crypto network or a crypto coin, because it might be a network and then they have a coin that it runs on or whatever, it's available for you. So if you're like, oh, digital money, that's BS, at least do you believe in the technology? There has to be infrastructure in place for all of this to happen. And once again, going back to another video, you can do research on when you say, well, Cardano, what is Cardano? What's Nervos Network? What is Nervos? VeChain, what's VeChain? It's just little things like that that you can look into, do a day, do 2 days worth of research and say, okay, well, this is something I'm interested in now. This is something that I believe in, Polygon or whatever it could be. And by the way, I personally would say to focus on maybe the top 50. You can go to coinmarketcap.com, coinmarketcap.com. That's a really good one. Learn how to navigate through it, because there's so much you will learn. Don't listen to what the nightly news tells you, okay? Nightly news is scripted and manipulated, and that is not someone that you want to listen to. Go to the internet where the real ones with the real knowledge are telling the truth, rather than what someone is paying them to say, okay? But yes, there are definitely more options than just coins. And for the last one, and I just want to throw it out there because I don't want someone to say, oh, I took my advice from you and I lost $5 gazillion. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes for you, and also informative. But another thing with crypto is the gains. Like I said earlier in the video, and I brought it back to really touch on it, the gains can be much greater than traditional savings in a bank. The bank will give you 0.000 something cents per dollar that you have in there. So realistically, to make any kind of real gains from a bank, you have to have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to see any actual numbers, right? With crypto, you can turn $25 into $50, $1,000 into $10,000. Just go look at the charts on Ethereum, Bitcoin, Polygon, Cardano, which, by the way, these are many that I have positions in as well. But when you really start saying, well, yeah, but it only went up from 3 cents to 75 cents, do the math. That's 75 times increase the money. If you would have put in $100, 75 times would be $7,500 return on $100. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is definitely something much better than the traditional banking system. There's a reason why all of these billionaires now, they're waking up to, wait, we got to invest in crypto. Well, they might have been already, but now they're publicly saying it, okay? There's a reason why the world is beginning to invest in crypto. Imagine if you would have started accumulating gold during the gold rush, okay? Or right before the gold rush, actually. And then the world goes to the gold standard or your country or whatever, and now you have accumulated a huge amount of gold available for you to do whatever with, and your gold is now worth gold. Same thing with crypto. Digital money, digital tokens has been here. Now everyone is finally starting to wake up and say this is the future. So if you're looking for short-term gains, yes, there are some cryptos, some coins and tokens that you can make immediate quick flips, as I call it. But if you're looking for longer term, there are some that are much more stable. The information is there. The research is there. It's becoming the currency of the world little by little. Do not miss out. Make sure you like, you subscribe, check out my other content, and I wish everybody the best in their investing endeavors.